Oh, hello and good morning. Let's get started. First words I speak today is always a little bit tricky. So let's get rolling with some games of Blitz. I got a request to play Blitz games still that are a little bit longer, and why not try that out? Yeah, there's something like 5+3. I will go for that in a moment. Just before I do that, I wanted to point out the really excellent cover artwork that I now got by Willem. Yeah, Willem TM is responsible for this very nice cover artwork. So if you want to check him out, here you got the name to Google. Thanks a lot again for giving me this really great picture. I like that a lot. So let's get started with some games. I'm trying this 5+3. I don't know. I never tried that. I have no clue if I get any opponents with this time control. Actually, let me, instead of doing the quick one, let me do it customary. For some reason, if I set a rating range, it's always limited to 2,900. I mean, I don't think there are many 3,000 players that would play me, but it's a bit odd. So we have like 5, let's say 5+2 or something. We have real-time, standard rated. Let's get rolling. Okay. Let's see if I get some opposition there. I have no clue. I never tried that. If I'm waiting for a long time, I'm going to scrap the idea. Don't want to sit there for a minute until a game is actually starting. I got a question in the latest video what tea I am drinking, or what my favorite tea is. My favorite tea is probably a Darjeeling, but I drink all kinds of tea, also like green tea. But what I'm currently drinking, and pretty much all of the time, is I had a pretty bad cold like 2 weeks ago. If you watch the free preview of the Magnus Fight Like Magnus course, you will see or hear this very clearly, because I could barely speak. I really had to work hard on this. In any case, I had a cold, and I got the advice to drink ginger tea. So take fresh ginger and put it into hot water, and then you've got ginger tea, and that really helped quite a bit. And I really like it, so I'm sticking with this. So like one big mug of ginger tea every morning, and that is the tea I'm drinking during those recording sessions. No, it seems like nothing happening, so I have to do something different. It's kind of what I expected. So let's try. We can try a 5-0. Maybe this is better. This is indeed better. I'm getting a game. So let's do 5-0 for a change. I think it's essentially the same as 3+2 in terms of game length. And in comparison, I would prefer 3+2 because you don't get the silly stuff at the end. So it looks like we get a Sveshnikov, and let's see what line Mockmaster Lee is going for. Going for the traditional bishop g5 main line. In recent years, there has been a shift to, or recent year, there's been a shift to 7 knight d5. So let's do this. My experience is that this is more frequently played in online Blitz than the bishop takes f6, g takes f6 line. The really super sharp lines, they get less frequently played. This you see a bit more often. Okay, now, yeah, this is not so precise because I want to go to g5, and now I get to do this in one move. It is more precise for white to start with g3 and only later play h5. Okay, it's not like white is playing terribly bad chess or anything, but it's a bit more precise to not play h5. So couple of things that I can do. Bishop e6 is the most normal looking move, and I will go for that. Okay, yeah, here I have more than one good way to play. I can play bishop takes e3 as a simple one, or knight e7. It's tough. It's a tough call, actually. There is also the move b4, which is entirely different, but interesting because, I mean, he has neglected development quite a bit. Let's go b4. I probably should have calculated this a bit longer, but I kind of think it's time to open the position up. Yeah, this is not really something that crossed my mind because it looks like a little bit too much. So do we take it? I guess we do. Take first. And yeah, simply bishop f6 looks good. I wonder if I can do more, if I can take on c3 already. That looks actually very interesting. Let's do this. If he just recaptures, I cannot be unhappy about it. Yeah, going bishop f6, attack this or directly look at the pawn. And if he takes the bishop, which is obviously critical, I will take b2, rook b1, queen g5, and that should give me enormous compensation with all kinds of things on the plate. Bishop takes d5, queen g3, knight e5. There are many things that white has to defend against. You know what I forgot about? He's got bloody knight f6 check. It's so silly. I totally forgot this. Okay, I can take this, however, and this is still interesting because I threaten queen g3 here, and like b takes, queen g3 check, king moves, rook b2. This is still very, very shaky stuff for white. It was not my intention to play like that. It was more blunder than anything else. I overlooked again. If he takes that knight f6 check is killing me. Okay, so here, well, I got knight e5 and possibly knight d4. Can also take b2 first. Currently, the pawn is taking away a pretty important flight square. So knight d4 is probably queen f6. Then I don't know exactly how I'm... If I take d5, wait. If I take d5, he has to take with the pawn. Knight takes as queen d2 mate. So bishop d5, pawn takes, and then... okay, this is fantastic. I don't need to continue here to calculate. Because he's got just no tempo move. Like he takes it, I play knight d4, and that's basically game over. Still pretty slow. I mean, I'm not a very quick calculator anyway, but I really feel sluggish early in the morning. Even more like sluggish than usual. Now, let's check this. I can just take b2 here, huh? There's nothing. I don't need to do anything fancy, I think. Rook takes. Yeah, now how does he? Yeah, so what now? Let me check. What is the simplest way to do this? Taking f2, he takes g5. That isn't so great. Queen e5 is kind of the lazy move, and I don't have that much time left, so I'm going to do it. This is also just having knight c2 coming. So just knight c2, yeah. Maybe that I think I should have a mate, but I don't see it. So I'm just going to take all the material. I still have to keep in mind that it's increment. So like in an increment game, I know if I have 10 seconds on the clock and I'm a rook up that I'm going to win, but that's not the case here necessarily. Yeah, I think white just overextended far too much in this game. We just quickly switch on the analysis. Like here, I think here the best move is probably g3. And after g3, black plays bishop g7. And the thing is, later, if white goes h5, and he should do that sooner or later, for example, he could do that right here, then black is going to play bishop f6, g5 later. So I basically got granted tempi here with h5. So I went to g5. And now, yeah, before is, okay, the engine says before is a good move. So I'm glad to learn that. I certainly can just play knight e7 and continue to fight for the square on d5. But b4 looks like the most energetic. And now he went complete berserk with f4, which I cannot quite believe. So engine gives, takes, and now wants to check on h4. But now it shows that b takes c3 is also strong. So takes, and now white, yeah, f takes, queen takes, and yeah, computer already says that's winning for black. I kind of thought it should be the case, but you're never completely sure in such a short time control. Yeah, so I have this idea. This is hanging, of course. And yeah, many things just don't work out. Like something like this is just going to be a disaster. Yeah, you've got white all over the place here. Yeah, you cannot hold this. I'm attacking with everything, and the king is wide open. So here bishop takes is the winner. It took me too long actually to figure it out. Knight d4, queen f2, rook takes, rook g1, and queen e5 is even the strongest move, okay. Now knight c2 is made in 9 moves. Okay, I didn't see that one, but I'm just winning the house. The rook is hanging and everything is falling with a check. Okay, so let's go back to the actual start here. So that was a 5-0. Let's go for another 5-0. Kind of, we can mix that a little bit with 3-2. I think I'm comfortable with 3-2. I would play 5 plus 3, but it seems to be difficult to get. Even problems getting a 5-0. It seems that maybe actually, let me do it like that. I'm not sure if this is a difference technically, but okay, got a game against Docs. Get another Sicilian, okay. Can pre-move that, but I get a Rossolimo. Yeah, this is a line with Queen c7 that Magnus has played quite a bit over the last year, and also the one that I suggested to play in my repertoire. Black has a pretty wide choice against the Rossolimo, and this is, I think, always good to know that you have some flexibility in your opening. That it's not dependent on yeah, a single variation, let's say. Okay, we will probably go f4 here. It's an interesting way to play. Is knight h5 something that looks good here, or I don't know. You can also just play bishop e6 in this position. Just develop. Knight h5 is interesting, however. Can also take. I'm not quite sure about this. One thing here to take note of is that if he will castle queenside, which I expect to happen, okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. I would have castled queenside then. Okay, here, I don't know, bishop e6. Let's do bishop e6. Are we afraid of bishop e5 or something? No. So let's just get this out. I currently cannot castle kingside. It's a bit of a problem. Yeah, you know, here I actually wonder if I can castle queenside in this position. It looks a bit odd, but I have this g5, g4 business here. That is interesting. It would be a different story if he wouldn't have played h3, which of course is perfectly normal at the spot where he played it, but just from a structural sense, if the pawn is on h2, I have no real attacking idea here, but so g4, so g5, g4, yeah, sorry, I can paint here. Sometimes forget due to the platform switches. Yeah, so I can actually open up the g file here. That makes this castling queenside a little bit more interesting, because normally this would be too risky. Yeah, white might try to open up the queenside quickly, and it's a bit of an airy king position here. So this seems like a playable option for me. I could be wrong, but it seems like something that can be done. I wonder if bishop e5 is sometimes an idea. It doesn't really threaten much. He seems to be a little bit stunned by castling queenside. Let's see what happens. It's 5-0, so the clock difference matters a little bit more. I really think that in the increment time controls you can sometimes accept to be a little bit down if the quality of the position is compensating for it. So yeah, let's go g5. That was the idea. Okay, but now this is killing his own piece, so I don't mind this too much. Yes, he has this knight e4 stuff, but yeah, that is relevant. It is relevant. Let me think of this. Think about this for a moment. I can go knight e8. Yeah, that is possible. So that after knight e4, knight d6, I can give up the exchange on d6. That would definitely be some kind of compensation, I think. Okay. So that's the king should be a little bit more safe there. And after knight d6, I'm just giving up the exchange for a pretty good bishop pair. If you got the bishop pair and a pawn for the exchange, it's usually completely okay if the bishops are strong. And I think the bishops on g7 and d6 are actually more than strong. They are pretty much fantastic. So now I'm basically telling him, okay, do it, yeah, please. So my bishops are pretty good. The question is, can I do something concrete with this, or is this just like a nice looking position but not really convertible, let's say, into something concrete? Going to push this up the board. If I play the bishop to f6, oh, that's an interesting take on this. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, it's not, this is a difficult decision and I have to now make it quickly. And now I get to take the d4 pawn, or isolate the d4 pawn for a very good position. But that wasn't a clear-cut decision, really, if this is good or not. I'm not even sure if this was right. No, this was wrong, because now I get to take the d5 pawn. So bishop d4, he wants to give the exchange back then. Okay. Okay, I can go c4 here also. Okay, I'm doing this in different way. I play rook e4 and then bishop d4. Okay, so I check now. If he takes d4, I take e1 first. Maybe he can play that. Okay, I didn't do it. Now, the question is, do I go rook e3, or do I trade, or what? And let's go rook e3. I think I'm getting the d5 pawn anyway. Yeah, he returns it. So go here. So I'm a pawn up at the end of all this. Check, yeah, check. And now he's got the check on a4. How do we do this? I don't know. I probably can check there. I should not run into a self-made, right? That wouldn't be too good. I'm pretty much capable of doing stuff like that, like find a cute way to get checkmated. I don't see it. I don't see it really, but okay. So let's just go up. He's got 5 seconds. That is helping. Oh, I actually blundered the queen in one move. Okay, I mean, I saw that he has 4 seconds and I will win, so it didn't really compute anymore. I just made a move that is a bit silly at the end. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, well, interesting. I'm not completely certain how I should play this, like after e5. Knight d5 looks completely normal, but maybe it's not the best. What I think is, however, after knight e8, rook knight e4, king b7, like a3, just go to one key point. a3 is pretty much disliked by the engine. Engine wants to go rook e1. But I just want to get to the point. I think actually it is a mistake to play knight d6, and the engine agrees. That is good. Computer wants to play rook a1 and says white is better in this position. That is possible. Just keep this idea in the position, but don't play it immediately. That could be actually a bit better, because now I'm not so sure how I can sacrifice the exchange in the first place. After knight takes d6, like the rook is on the queen, so I would probably have to play a somewhat move now. After knight d6, I'm perfectly fine. So I'm just curious what the computer says. Yeah, it gives 0 in this position initially at a pretty shallow depth. And now it gives white some advantage. Okay, interesting. I didn't expect that. Like 0.3, 0.4 is what it's giving. But I mean, here the compensation should be pretty clear that I've got something for the exchange. I'm really surprised that the engine is giving white an advantage in the first place, because I really don't see why this should be the case. Even if you just do it in a very abstract way, let's say I put this bishop on e6, yeah, just one single isolated point. How is he ever using a rook? The e-file is blocked, you cannot trade off the e6 bishop, and the two bishops have a pretty significant significant range. I don't know, I thought black should be fine. I mean, 0.3 or something is not terrible for me, engine evaluation, but I actually thought that would be kind of equal. Okay, so we're going for another 5-0 game. Pretty much somehow I think I'm winning pretty good rating on those games here. Okay, now let's go d4. In my keep it simple d4, this is almost a pre-move. You only have to do something else after c5. After everything else, I would play g3 almost. This is not a bad move actually, b6. Played pretty rarely, even by players who play the Queen's Indian. I think they are probably afraid of bishop g5, because after bishop g5, you have a bit of a limited choice against the Tory attack. So we're going to transpose into some sort of Catalan Queen's Indian hybrid. Going to take him. So now this is a very well-known pawn structure. Hanging pawns, almost, not yet, but almost. c5 will happen a lot. Probably not immediately, that would be extremely risky. Which is just a euphemism for bad, honestly. I expect bishop e7 to happen. Bishop d6 looks odd. I think knight b5 is a pretty bit of a problem against this move. Maybe he wants to prepare this somehow. Bishop b4, wow. That's also a bit of a strange one. Black never really wants to take on c3. Okay, I'm going queen b3. Don't want to get into a huge time disadvantage early on. So yeah, both moves look good actually. So let's take with the queen. Again, this is 5-0, and I have to make sure that I'm not falling too far behind on the clock. I cannot rely on the increment, and I have to really take that into account, that I don't get any additional time. So here my idea is to get b5 in, and if I do, black's position would be strategically pretty dubious, because then c7 and d5, like if I get this in, c7 and d5 will be permanent weaknesses. So he's stopping this. Going a4. My bishop on c1 looks bad, but it is pretty much, I mean, at some point this will open up. It's going to happen, and then my bishop will become stronger again. Here, what do we do? h6. Maybe he wants to go. What does he want to do? f5 or something? g5? Or is that just like a non-committal improve a little move? Might be. Yeah, that is surprising. I mean, c5 is not playable, as b7 is hanging. See, preparing this maybe. Seems to be. Yeah, okay, I thought a5 now is a good move. After b5, I'm certainly better. Oh no, knight d64. Oh, that was sloppy. Okay. That was a bit sloppy actually. Now that I played this badly. I misplayed that. I did not really register that he had this knight d64. I was always thinking about like b5 and then play knight b64. I did not. Wow. Doesn't even want to have any c5 opportunity. That is surprising. Okay, do we go rook a8? Maybe. Now I again like my position. I don't think I'm hugely better or anything like that, but I would assume that I have an advantage. Okay, take. Going to take it, I guess. Or maybe try to enter the position with queen a2. Okay, now rook a7 I can just play. Yeah, queen d7. Huh? Probably he wants to. Well, but then I can take and go e4. Then I definitely have an advantage here. This looks like a strong move actually. He wants to go bishop h3, I guess. Maybe d4. Okay, so let me check. And now maybe this one, queen f8. Looking at the pawn, so that bishop h3 seems to be prevented. Yeah. No, he's doing a good job here. I think he's playing this quite well. Now the queen is set to enter. So I probably have to go here. Oh. I completely did not see this move coming. Ah, that looks bad. Like queen c2 or something is really dangerous. I have a really terrible position here. Wow, no, I completely misplayed that. Okay, now I have an idea on my own. Okay, this threatens mate. Queen e2. What did I have? Yeah, I'm going to get mated here. Queen e2, something like that. That's also strong. But am I checkmated? I have this e6 idea. Sometimes. Okay, I have to take. It's kind of what I have to do. Has to take with the queen, of course. And then... oh, mate. It's mate in one. That was bad. That was really bad. Okay, I'm going to go for the rematch, but I will look at this game later because I want to learn what I did wrong. I have some ideas what was wrong, but I want to check it with the computer because at the beginning I was definitely in very good shape, and then I completely screwed it up. This a6b5 is one of the good lines against this so-called Jubava opening. e6 is another good line. That is the one that I had in my Nimzo Rogozin repertoire, but a6b5 is less known to people, so this is what I often play in Blitz. Now you see White's position is a little bit odd here, but he can go knight g3 and then develop. One of the goals of Black's play is to gain a lot of space on the queen side, so that White's potential queenside castling is completely out of the picture. Interesting. He tries to connect to the c5 square. And I mean, try is wrong. He will do it. Yeah, very likely knight b3 or knight d3 coming. I need to get c5 in, so I went knight d7. a5 is a strategically pretty normal move, trying to isolate my b4 pawn from the rest of the pawn formation, but he has to always watch the pawn on a5. That is that can be a liability. I'm thinking bishop d7 b5 here, maybe to get rid of this e2 bishop, and if he takes it, then indeed the a5 pawn would be like if he have bishop b5 takes. Now if I now go bishop b5, he can capture and play knight to c6, which is not a problem. But also not all that attractive. Okay. That looks odd, but I want to, okay, now things change a little bit. What I wanted to do was bishop d6 and put some pressure on the knight. Now this is a bit different. If I go knight b7, by the way, a move that I didn't actually see beforehand, can I just pick up the a5 pawn? More or less, yes. Or he has a queen e1. That is a very strange looking move, but maybe he's got that, just attacking before. Yeah, it's a bit strange, but could work. So if I take a5 now, knight takes b4. Tja. I have to play bishop b5 here actually. This is a good move. Bishop b5, and now I take a5, right? He has a bit of compensation then for sure. The c6 square is a liability. And he immediately goes for this, even though I'm not really certain it is an issue, because at the end of the day the remaining structure looks pretty okay. So let's say just rook c8. Oh, how do I get the pawn, the a5 pawn? I also wouldn't mind to trade those knights. Maybe he's got rook a4 in store. So rook a4, I can go, I know, knight c4, maybe knight c5 maybe doesn't even work. Okay, knight c5, he goes knight e5. Rook c3, and then what? I can go knight c5 then. Okay. Now knight c5. I also have e5 here. I'm not sure that this helps. Okay, let's do this first. Wow. That I didn't even consider in the least bit. Now e5 he can take. Okay, let's do this. Getting a bit short of time here. It takes bishop before rook f2, bishop e7, and then rook c2 back. It's really strange. Rook d2, he's got knight b4, I guess. Knight b4 is going to happen anyway. Yeah, my back rank is unfortunately pretty weak. This is why I cannot play knight c5. Yeah, that is a super quick pawn. I have 12 seconds, oh god. Okay, then I'm just lost anyway, because of the time. Okay, he won two games against me where I felt I didn't understand the position properly. Because, like, let's say here, yeah, I don't think this can be bad for black. That would be surprising. So the computer gives 0.3 or something for white. But shouldn't I be able to get something against that pawn, let's say, and so on? So I'm fairly certain I missed something good. Not like a winner or something. I should not be in trouble, I think, if I'm doing this right. So engine wants knight d8 in this position. Yeah, I mean, this felt a little bit shaky, this rook c4, but yeah, f3, e4, that's pretty remarkable. Bishop g3 also was interesting, just going for bishop e1. Here the engine gives white already a substantial advantage. After a bit of thought of the engine, e4 is given as the best move. Well, I don't know. What exactly did I do wrong here? Rook c4, yeah? Rook c4 is probably the beginning where things go a little bit wrong. Knight d8 to c6 is remarkable. It makes a lot of sense, yeah, once you think about it a little bit. Yeah, it covers b4 very safely and looks at a5. So I'm at the same time putting a bit of pressure against his pawn and I'm covering mine. So this is definitely a point. I'd like to check the game before. Let me check. I think I have to go. At least that's a way that I know that I can use. So if we check this again, why can I not request a computer analysis? It doesn't seem to work. Yeah, so this must be pretty okay, right? And I mean, I know one thing that I did wrong. That's fairly sure. So this is a position where white should be better, yeah, to some degree. It's just like I'm always on this pawn, and it's just a standard structural advantage. A5 is actually liked by the engine with exactly the game continuation. So it takes, and I also thought that this must be good, yeah, it's 1 point something. Okay, this is what I thought, but then I played it badly. I really played it badly. So rook a8, it seems fine, and now we're getting there, I guess. Yeah, I allowed bishop f5. Maybe here I have to just play more prophylactically, where you in a blitz game sometimes just cannot find the, let's say, this moment of real thinking. He ultimately managed to invade on the light squares, and of course my light squares are weakened. So the thing is, can I prevent it? What the engine is suggesting here is, of course, pretty interesting, like this, and now queen d3, which is just preventing this activation there. It was also problematic in the game that all the rooks got traded off. That was not very helpful. Yeah, I mean, this must be somewhat better, but the thing is that in the game, even here, it still looks quite good. But once we had this, it's really not easy at all, because my bishop on c5 is a good piece to keep everything, let's say, together. It covers b4, e3 and so on, but can never attack anything. So it is a purely protective piece. And my bishop on g2 cannot enter his position at all, and I cannot open the position at all. The computer is now already on 0, and the thing is, it's not so easy to find a constructive plan. The engine's suggestion of playing a quick h3 and maybe g4, yeah, it looks very sensible. So what I should do is I have to play in a way. Rook a7 is just terrible. I have to play queen a2. Keep the rook on and try to play this and this somehow. Then you might still have some kind of initiative, but even the trade of one rook helped black pretty substantially. That's difficult, very difficult. The moment we got here, I felt that things are slipping, and then I played one or two silly moves and then got killed. Maybe if I'm now getting, so yeah, here I'm already losing almost. The engine already sees that it's invasion time on the light squares. The best, according to the comp, is to go back and defend, which, yeah, and this is absolutely terrible to play for a human player. He can attack on the light squares, which are severely weakened, and and then I pretty much fell apart. Yeah, here things are pretty grim. Yeah, that was nicely done. Queen c2 is a good move, and this is also strong. And bishop f3 is also the strongest move. And here the mate in 1, which I overlooked, but it's already you cannot defend it anymore. So yeah, very nicely played by black. So what's going on? Let's go here. And like one more game maybe. Let's do a 3+2 at the end. Well, I always like to do it like that. Somehow I have a clearer idea what I'm doing if I see all this set up. Also the rating ranges. Takes a moment. It seems 5+2 is easier to get. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that was very costly, yeah, those 2 losses. No, yet another Sveshnikov. After knight a3, here black has the extra option to go f5, but I'm not sure that this is actually better than going b5. And this additional theoretical workload does not seem very efficient for me to learn. So I'm just advising to transpose. This line is fairly sharp. g3 I'm not really such a fan of, because I think this is good. Bishop f5 is the right move. Sometimes difficult to recall all the lines. The main okay. Interesting. The main threat was f3, the move before, and now he went knight b4. Okay, so how are we going to play it? The knight on c6 is hanging. It's tough to move it away. Yeah. Oops, what's going on here? Intel driver support. Great, that's a good moment to get this. So I was getting to the point where I think I have to take it. Now, what is best now? The exchange is not really, I'm not really worried, let's say, about the exchange. I just wonder, it's tricky, yeah. I thought e4 could be an idea, threatening f3. I'm just unsure what happens if he takes on f4. It's probably good, yeah. Queen h4, yeah, it should be fine. If in doubt, like in the Sveshnikov, it's really often the thing, if in doubt, try to play as actively as possible. Okay, e4 cannot be taken. I'm actually, wow, what? Really? Okay, so let's go f3. So do I want to check on g5? That's a good question, I guess. Yeah, I think many things here are pretty strong, actually. Can also go a5. Queen b6 is also a strong move. Okay, let's go queen b6. Just attack f2. Maybe queen d2 for knight d5. Yeah. So let's get this running. Yeah. Do I want to cover it, right? The pawn, I mean, on d6. I will have b4 next, pretty much regardless. Bishop h6 is also a move, surprisingly. Just claiming that the f3 pawn is worth a lot. Huh. Time is getting low. So let's take. That is still a pin, so I don't have to yet take. So I'm actually then able to take. Yeah, I will do this now before he goes king d2. And now I can actually cover it if I want. Rook d8. Let's cover this for the moment. Maybe I'm too slow with what I'm doing here. But I only have 40 seconds, which is what prompts me to play a bit quicker. I don't really feel I'm doing this right. How can we do this? Like here, sorry, sorry, I mean, sorry is the wrong word. I'm basically saying sorry to myself, yeah, that I haven't done this before. Now opening up the queen side. I'm going to take rook a3. Okay. So, invasion time. 25 seconds. This is the main thing. The position is, I think, pretty good. Not sure how good, but just rook e1 is kind of a problem. Can check there first, yes. So, okay. Going to have a winning position, but 19 seconds is going to be a big obstacle. Uh, 9 seconds. I really should stop playing without increment. It always unnerves me that you have this silly games where you kind of, the game is actually already over in some way, and then you recognize, oh, 6 seconds, that's not good. You have to just wait a little bit longer and then get to play a decent game without a Stone Age time control. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that was just a game which was pretty early on terrible for white, because the opening play was pretty bad. Like here I'm already clearly better, and after he allows f3, it's, I think, strategically lost this position, like -3. But I didn't convert it really well. I mean, this is a game where he shouldn't see move 30, and he did, and he shouldn't. It's obviously completely overwhelming. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it did it too badly. It was just too low, just too slow. I mean, here it's not -3, but it's like -1 point something. Yeah, this is just a very bad position. And yeah, okay, this is a thing that you win pretty easily, even with the 1 second increment. But without one, it's just bad if your time management sucks. I thought, in particular, I thought too long around here, where the choices are actually pretty clear, and you should just dash out the moves and take one of the good positions. I still have a bit of tea left, so I can go. Was that a 3+2 game? No, it wasn't, right? It was a 5-0 game, no? They didn't resign this, right? Even no, I had no increment. So let's go for one more game. I lost 3 in a row, and not exactly necessary losses anyway. Johnny Duck, I'm down 2-4-17. Yeah, okay, and I just stopped to play those time controls that I dislike anyway, just for the sake of getting a quicker game. In particular for the live commentary games, increment is absolutely ideal because you get to play the games out. Yeah, you don't have this silly, I don't know, dash out quick moves, try to win on time, all those silly stuff. You just don't have that. And in general, I think this is something that just for the instructional value is welcome. How is he not taking on e4 now? Yeah, we have a sort of a closed Catalan where black's piece placement is odd, to say the least. Interesting here is bishop f4. Okay, but it's not really a necessity. I try to prevent him from playing c6, c5. This is what the main strategic aim is. I can even do this, knight e5. Black now cannot take. I'm probably not threatening knight takes c6 though. That is probably just... Well, if it's my move, I could take it. And I would. Okay, so he just says, okay, I'm strategically lost. I'm happy. Happy about that. Anyway, let's see how to actually punish him there. So let's go. Yeah, I think I should go bishop f4. Doesn't even try to play c5. Okay. Now, yeah, a couple of good things here. You can go b4. Rook d6 is a move. Yeah, I'm going rook d6. Now, is he somehow getting a counterplay with e5? This is the only thing that is somewhat of a concern. Trying to use a pin then, rook against the queen. I would like to play b4. It's a good tempo move. b4 and knight a6. He's still kind of alive in this position. Maybe here, yeah. e5. Should be 3, knight e6. b4, c5. He's just about surviving this. Yeah, c5, only move. What did I do wrong? I really don't know. What did I do wrong? I have no clue. I mean, game should have been over by now, really. But it isn't. Just isn't. Queen d6, I take, and then take on c5. Okay, I can check first. If I check, no. It's okay. I take here first. We cannot take it because of mate, back rank mate. And next move is the check. Yeah, unless he goes to d8, then I take the a7 pawn immediately. So I probably get to a winning ending, but still, I must have done something terrible because the game should be over much earlier. Not sure if they hear the sound. Maybe you're not, because the microphone is pretty it's pretty good now, but you don't pick up some of the noises. It's a Wednesday, and that's always the day when the apartment above me, I think, is cleaned, which is sometimes a bit noisy. Okay. Didn't see that at all. So wow. Didn't expect to get that far with the pawn. So check. Or a7. Let's go a7. b8. That should be end of game. Okay. Okay. No, not a rematch. Let me. Sorry about that, but I just want to have a quick look there. Why I screwed it up? Because the moment he takes on e5, the game is essentially over strategically. But I couldn't nail it. I just couldn't nail it. The thing is, he's got this incredibly weak square. I have the pressure. He's got hard time to play c5. That should add up to basically a win, but I didn't manage. So I think actually probably around here is where I'm doing the weird things. Yeah, queen f3 is a lot stronger than queen e3. And maybe not a lot, but yeah, queen f3. Now b4 is very strong because of this b5 idea. Yeah, this is an additional issue. So that if he goes here, I have b5, and he can never take because of this issue. Yeah, and here, okay. Okay, the computer is still giving me a huge advantage. Maybe I'm keeping a huge advantage. I just felt, yeah, it's always like +1. I just thought I should have had much more. But computer actually approves of my play. Now, however, I should not play rook b1, but rook d1. Huh. Okay, it covers this. I mean, sorry, it covers the d6 pawn, and now I'm attacking c5 and e5. I did not actually register that e5 is attacked. Okay, so that was better than rook d1, a lot better actually. And here he should not take on d6, which is probably losing. Yeah, that loses. He should play king f8. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I'm still substantially better there, but I kind of expected to have more, which was probably not a proper assessment. So queen f3 is a lot stronger though. The idea to play b4, b5 is just strong. In the game, the issue was that, like here, if I go b4, he can go to a6, and this is not that convincing. I mean, I can play, let's say, a3, but he goes c5. And while this is still nice, it's not devastating. It's still very nice. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, very likely I'll do one tomorrow again. Bye bye.